Sometimes the voices you hear in the silence are trying to protect the ones you love. When I was a little girl, my father was my entire world. He never missed a school program, a birthday, or a simple walk to the neighborhood store. Whenever I wanted something, he would smile and tell me, "If it makes you happy, we'll find a way." Even when money was tight, he always put his family first. Life was simple, and it was beautiful. Everything changed after my father became seriously ill. Doctors said his heart had grown weak, and he could no longer work. My mother found 2 jobs just to keep food on the table, while my older brother and I took turns caring for him at home. Although he spent most of his days in bed, my father never complained. He always thanked us for every meal, every blanket, and every glass of water. His smile never disappeared. One rainy evening, I sat beside his bed reading aloud from his favorite book. He closed his eyes and listened quietly. Before I left the room, he reached for my hand. "No matter what happens," he whispered, "don't ever let fear make your decisions." I smiled, thinking he was simply being sentimental. I had no idea those would become the most important words he ever spoke to me. Several weeks later, strange things began happening inside our house. Late at night, I often heard soft voices drifting through the hallway. At first, I thought neighbors were talking outside, but the whispers always sounded much closer, almost as if someone stood just beyond my bedroom door. Whenever I opened it, the hallway was empty. The voices returned every night, always after midnight, always speaking too quietly to understand, until one evening, I clearly heard someone say, "Not yet." Another voice replied, "He's still being watched." The whispers sounded old, neither male nor female, just distant voices carried through the darkness. I rushed into my father's room. He was sleeping peacefully. Nothing seemed unusual. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that someone unseen had gathered around him. The following morning, I told my mother everything. She assumed I was exhausted from staying awake too late. My brother teased me, saying I'd watched too many horror movies. Only my grandmother remained silent. Later that afternoon, she quietly handed me a small wooden cross. "Keep this beside your bed tonight," she said, "and if you hear them again, don't answer." That night, a violent thunderstorm swept across the city. The electricity failed. The entire house disappeared into darkness. As rain hammered against the roof, the whispers returned. This time they were louder, closer. I could hear several voices speaking at once. "He cannot leave. She won't allow it. Wait until sunrise." I covered my ears. Then another voice rose above the others. Firm, gentle, protective. "Go back." Instantly, every whisper stopped. The silence felt almost unnatural. The next morning, my father looked healthier than he had in weeks. He even managed to walk a few steps with assistance. The doctors later called it an unexpected improvement. No one could explain it. Months passed peacefully. Eventually, my father recovered enough to sit outside each afternoon, enjoying the sunshine. The whispers never returned, or so I thought. Years later, after my grandmother passed away, I found an old journal hidden inside one of her cabinets. Most of its pages contained handwritten prayers. Near the end was a single sentence. Sometimes our ancestors stand watch when heaven has not yet called someone home. Tucked between the pages was an old family photograph. Standing behind my father was a faint outline of several people. Their faces were impossible to recognize, except one, my grandmother. She had written beneath the picture, "They came to guide him, but love convinced them to wait." Today, our old house still stands. My father is older now, his hair completely grey, but he still smiles the same way he did when I was a child. Every now and then, during quiet rainy nights, I wake to the faint sound of whispers drifting through the hallway. I no longer feel afraid. I simply whisper back, "Thank you for watching over him," and the voices fade quietly into the night.